beyond the hype, so pragmatic AI and field realities in humanitarian response. Let me introduce to you our speaker for today. So Daria Sever, she's a supply chain specialist that has been delivering AI and data-driven solutions for humanitarian systems for over 10 years now. So she has a lot of experience optimizing end-to-end supply chains in complex environments. And in the past, she has worked for MSF, the IDA Foundation, MicroEyes, and last but not least, Data Friendly Space. So she's really an expert in AI applications, demand forecasting, evidence-based decision support tools for humanitarian processes. So I hope you'll find her content interesting. And so regarding today's focus, we are going to talk about how can we better understand the complexities of humanitarian processes and how can AI support us, whether that's for decision-making or other. What are the risks and challenges and lessons learned from the field? And most importantly, how can we make sure that we are ready to integrate AI inside our humanitarian processes in a way that is ethical and responsible use? So I know that this may seem like maybe there's a lot of people that have been like rehashing these topics over and over again. So we still hope that you'll find this this conversation a little bit more useful and practical maybe than some of the other talks you've had. And yeah, I'm just gonna let Daria take over now. Thank you.
Thank you, Luna. Hello all. Very nice and very happy to be here. Also to present the AI adoption in humanitarian space together with relief applications. Thanks for the space. Today, like I want to start with actually the topic with an example. That can show us the realities in humanitarian space. Like as you remember, in 2023 there was a big earthquake in Turkey. Like at for example 317 an earthquake hits, and it is very important for the humanitarian agencies to really react for the and to make decisions within the first 72 hours, which is very important to save lives. So that's like where to go for search and rescue, who gets food, shelter, and medical care. And AI-enabled tools reduce these analyses, this decision-making from weeks to hours via satellite imagery or via collecting just social media messages or local newspaper just messages, so that the humanitarian space can automatically and in a fast way understand where the damage is, where the vulnerabilities are, what is needed. And today we will just base our talk in the way that, okay, within this context, what happens when that system is wrong? In humanitarian settings, unlike the commercial settings, errors don't reduce profit margins, but they cost lives. So today's talk will be more on this context. So we have the responsibility to save lives. With AI, what is promised to be achieved in humanitarian space? First is the speed. So like as in the previous example, accelerating decision making during the golden hour, which is 72 hours of crisis during emergency response. This can be via like satellite imageries where we can compare what was before and what, for example, what buildings collapsed, where are the most affected regions, so we can prioritize the operations. It can be a prediction, so forecasting displacement, forecasting food insecurity before they happen, so we can allocate funds, we can allocate emergency stocks based on these predictions. And automation, reducing manual work in high pressure, decentralized spaces. As you all know, in field, most of the work is done through manual documents or like WhatsApp, so that it is very hard to centralize the information. And also it is very hard to really process the information into decision making. So AI can help to automate this. For example, in like internal documents, like guidelines, or like in just understanding the like where the like vulnerabilities are. You can really go through documents, go through news in very high speed and automation. And the optimization part. So in supply chain, humanitarian supply chain, ensuring the right supplies reach the right place at right time and right quantity is very important. So that the AI as a higher part, I would say, like with agent, can also just like make the decisions and make the optimization in a like by using the forecasted needs and location. But the optimization part at this level for AI is like a little bit higher dimension, because it includes like decision making. But these are all the horizon that AI can provide the humanitarian space. But we should also talk about why is humanitarian AI different from commercial AI. The ground truth, we can maybe settle it in four lenses. One of them is the operational lens. First of all, the crisis environments where we all work are unstable. They're fragmented and time sensitive. Most of the time we have low connectivity. Most of the time, like the field is far from like internet use, or they're in the middle of like desert. Most of the work and data collection are based on paper-based systems, so very hard to put them into digital space, and we can have errors also in the transfer. There's rapid staff turnover, which prevents also the training of staff, and also the continuation of the experience. There's always information overload because especially in emergencies, there's too much information at once, so it can make it harder. And also most of the time, like the real world data is really messy, so we need to process like based on the statistics, like there's 59% of accuracy drop. And another part is the political lens. Of course, humanitarian processes are all also like political, and it's not neutral. We are working in spaces where there is all like wars, like crisis situations. So we really need to make sure by when we are using the AI tools, like who owns the data, who funds the AI, and who is included, because we work with marginalized communities who have different needs, who have very like very special like needs, different languages, which are not mostly included in the general AI models. So there are risks like tech colonialism, where we can see, like for example, ChatGPT, all these like high-tech tools are like privately owned, and they are like closed boxes where we don't know what data has been used, and what actually also the we don't know the details of the model. And also like extractive, like there can be extractive data practices, like the vendor locking. You are really dependent on the vendor, and also power concentration. So all these risks also impact the decision at the end. So we really need to make sure when we are using an AI model that like all the like political, like the neutrality is ensured. And another lens of the ground truth is the ethical and protection lens. So bias is not a technical glitch, it's structural, from data to algorithm to the outcome. For example, one of the most risks is the identification of vulnerable populations. So we have data of populations in very like in Africa, in Middle East, Latin America, Asia, where for example, healthcare data, where the system is might not be very good to de-anonymize, like really just not to identify the like the people, and for example, they can have identity information with about their addresses, about their medical statuses. So this is one of the main risks, and it can be an insecure data storage. So because all the network is very decentralized, we need to make sure the data cannot be leaked or hacked. Also bias against marginalized groups, for example, for large language models, when the model is trained with even unknown data, we don't know whether marginalized groups are included or there's a certain trend against them, and also harm for misclassification, so that the decisions from the artificial intelligence based tools don't misclassify and not neutral. Another important context is the systems and infrastructure lens. One of the reports on the use of AI in humanitarian space by Data Francis Space states that while 93% of humanitarians use AI personally, only 8% report that it's widely integrated into their organizations, which creates a gap, actually. So we call it a shadow AI. So people use it, individuals use it, but there is no accountability. There's limited safeguarding and limited control over it. So this clearly shows there is limited system and capacity readiness for AI adoption, and many contexts still rely on unstructured manual data, which is very important. We will touch this later on. But then, if the data is not good, also the performance of the outcome will not be good as well. And also missing feedback loops. Feedback loops are very important to really control and evaluate the safety or the quality of the decisions. And within this context, AI definitely requires data infrastructure, digital literacy, institutional capacity, and governance frameworks. With one of the also interviews with the NGOs or local NGOs, it was done with Nesta and Sphere. It was stated that mostly the local NGOs can adopt AI much faster than the more bigger organizations, because this proves that the system, all this infrastructure and bureaucracy as well is also easier in local NGOs. This can be also an opportunity or also a disadvantage if it is not maintained well. And what are the AI adoption in humanitarian space? So humanitarian space already started years ago adopting AI. So it can be through natural language processing, categorizing reports, social media monitoring, and creating chatbots to really support, for example, migrants, to support people who had who are in need, so that they can be assisted in their legal rights, or what they do in that certain situation. It can be a computer vision, so to analyze satellite drone imagery for damage assessment and mapping, in the earthquake case, or in climate disasters like flooding. Also, it can be a machine learning algorithm model which can forecast needs, forecast disease, outbreaks and population movements, so that we can make decisions where to locate the emergency stocks, or where to go next, or where to divert the funds. One of the examples, one of the parts is emergency preparedness and response. So as we said, like AI-based solutions can speed up decision makings to hours, while traditional manual solutions can take weeks to intervene. Also, in terms of quality, most of the time the decisions are made through Excel or more less sophisticated statistical methods even. There are some examples like the Project Jetson of UNHCR, which uses machine learning to forecast force displacement in Somalia by analyzing market prices, rainfall patterns, and conflict data. And the athlete, as we all know, like they have the conflict alert system. So with a machine learning algorithm, it can predict the forecast political violence, the horizon, and the changes of the political violence. So like the decision makers can understand where to really focus, where the internal conflict situations will take place. So also like the funding, in these times where the funding is very limited, can be very important for the humanitarian space. And also forecast-based financing from IFRC, it automatically triggers the release of funds and early actions based on meteorological forecasts. Like now, there are a lot of climate disasters due to climate change. So also it takes some time to release of funds in the traditional cases, but with AI, with the early action, early detection, the release of funds really can help to deliver the supply to the people in need. So also AI is used to assess the humanitarian needs and to increase the supply chain efficiency and optimization. So like from just stock management to forecasting, warehouse management and transportation, AI also has been used. So Hunger Map Live, like from WFP, it retrieves weather and conflict data to forecast food insecurity indicators. So mostly it's 1 month in advance. So the organizations and the ministries can take action for the proactive resource allocation. And also DRC's foresight model, it is a model, AI-based tool designed to forecast the number of people displaced from one country to another 2-3 years into the future. Also, these models are very important to really see the movements of internally displaced people. So all these logistics decisions can be made in advance. And also another example is Ecotopia AI, which digitalizes the geospatial imagery to really generate vector maps to identify the communities in need and optimizing aid routes, because aid routes are very important. There is mapping action where people manually also input maps, but also it is very important to see like from satellite imagery, really real, near real time routes to understand the access. And another part is the crisis situation reports and risk analysis. So there is a lot of information coming from from newspapers, from radio, even from like all these social media. So it's very important also transform transform this information into more evidence-based reports, like crisis situation reports. One of them was like the platform, like it was more like in between. So like there were manual labeling first by the analysts, so that they can extract categorize and summarize like the qualitative information, but from more selected sources. But on the top, to really automate this situation, then it was developed, so which can also is a generative AI that can provide near real-time knowledge retrieval, so that whenever the disaster occurs, it can really retrieve just like where the like the most needed people are, what are the needs, and where to focus on in shorter time. Normally, it takes weeks really. But now, within 2 days, 1 day, like agencies can understand where the what are the like the needs. And another important one is the rapid response and damage assessment. So there's Sky project using computer vision by comparing imageries before and after the event. There are rapid mapping services still using AI to provide near-time mapping impacted by floods. So like used in the tropical cyclone in Mozambique and also earthquakes. And there is one example of AIDR, like AI for digital response. So automatically classifying the social media messages and images during disaster. Especially social media messages are very useful because people, especially in emergencies, people share their needs, share where they are, share what is happening with videos from social media. But also it can be dangerous because you need a proper like control, safeguards to understand what is the real and what can be used efficiently. And after seeing all these adoption cases, what's like we can also see what breaks in the field. Like, okay, it has been started being used, but also considering all these special, unique context in humanitarian aid, what can break? So as a major risk, there are like data blind spots and algorithmic exclusion. That there are algorithmic bias, data bias possibility. So AI cannot predict what it cannot see. One of the main issues in humanitarian space is the invisible marginalized groups. So they don't have data. Like they have very limited data. They lack digital footprints. So we should be also close, like very careful in using tools that use like data, digital data, to really understand and make decisions for marginalized groups. And there is also language gap where like the performance can drop in low resource languages. So there's like Swahili, Arabic. We know like all these like large language models work for like global north languages, but also there are a lot of efforts like Yakuna Foundation, like where for example in Africa, in Latin America, Asia, like really the developers like really like train the models with the local languages. So there's like an effort to fill the gap. But also we should understand that the structural exclusion becomes algorithmic. So if we don't include all the groups, then in the like the outcome, like they won't be included. So it has a more bullwhip effect, like what we had in like actually supply chain in terms of inventory decisions, but also like the bias in the data like reflects into the like outcome in a very big impact, because at the end funds are diverted into unequal places, and some people are like ignored. And there is the safety illusion, because like there is automation bias, first of all, for the users. People might trust a dashboard because it looks scientific or it comes from an AI. And also like we can see from some reports that AI safety scores like drop significantly if the high vulnerability users just indicators are included. So like there's also the generalization gap. Not all outcomes are applicable to situations. We can also see this actually in forecasting models as well. So like also as we tend to have more centralized or one general model for everyone. Like we can see actually the model has the lower performances for some contexts, even if within one country, from one region to another region, it can change, or like from another one country to another, it can change. So we should really make sure the context or the data, like the data properties of certain regions are really reflect. So they are not missed in the in the general algorithms. And the precision is not accuracy. So a beautiful map doesn't mean it is the truth. So also the individual users without a proper structural adoption should make sure that like when there's a beautiful scientific outcome, it doesn't it might not reflect the truth. And of course, there is accountability gap. So if an AI system misallocates aid, misallocates funding, and causes harm, who will be the responsible organization or the part of the humanitarian processes? So the current governance vacuum, as we saw, leaves these individual staff members bearing the ethical weight of technological failures, and we should really make sure to decide at each stage of the AI adoption, at each stage of from data to the outcome delivery, who is responsible? When something occurs, is it the NGO responsible, the vendor responsible, or the donor or the developer? So this is also a vacuum that we don't have really the regulations in a clear way. So given these risks, what do we do for responsible AI in humanitarian setting? As we all know, risk assessments, having human in the loop is a very important measure that we need to include in our AI adoption infrastructure. So human in the loop is not just a submit button. So it's an authority to override the system when the field context contradicts the model. Actually, we have seen this for example, in Gannett's situation reports, because we cannot really create a automated risk analysis or situation reports and deliver to the organizations, because there can be algorithmic bias, also there can be hallucinations from the AI model. So the really between the model outcome to the delivery to the responsible organizations, there should be people who are experienced to really evaluate the outcome. So for example, we had the analysts to really evaluate and then recheck the report and change and actually also criticize it accordingly. And also there is Boston Group's suggestion. Also it was in McKinsey report, Rule 10-2070, where they although it's for commercial companies that they really suggest to use this. 10% is the algorithm, they say. 20% is the tech, and 70% is the people and processes. So the biggest part is the people and processes, which includes training and reorganizing of workflows, organizing the processes within the organization, and also putting the safeguards and the assessment capabilities inside the organization, and also, of course, the change management. Change management is also very important because most of the time, like in humanitarian space, especially, people are very used to manual work or used to traditional work. So there can be a really resistance of using new tech. So this is the main part that we need to focus, and 20% is the tech. Where we need to really ensure the data is properly evaluated, cleaned. There's a data pipeline put in place, and also the system for this APIs, and also more as safety measures against hacks or really protection of data is in place. And 10% is the algorithm coming from the either vendors or in-house in-house developers, where they can do training or really using open source models to just to customize the according to the context. But yeah, this rules really gives the importance of the people and the process within the AI adoption, and also AI risk assessment frameworks before and during deployment are very is very important because we really need to add the safeguards, evaluate the AI system across intended use, what are the use cases and why we are using the AI, what are the potential harms, what are the ethical considerations, are there any data bias, or really evaluating the outcomes and evaluating the incidents to really understand if there's a bias or if there's misuse, and also to really ensure technical safety to protect the data and also protect the data leakages, and of course the governance. For example, one of the nice parts, MIT has an AI risk repository. They do have a kind of a very big repo, which is also evolving based on categorical risks, and also based on the more intrinsic risks. So you can really see where to focus on and if there are any incidents or not. Before also the year, I guess, they were doing some collective incident reports as well. And also transparency and local capacity. Of course, explainability is very important. It can be during the model selection, so avoiding closed box outsourcing when we really choose the model or not, or also it can be when the outcome is presented to the user. The user should know where the information comes from. Also, for example, if there is a forecast, the user understands if the forecast changes, what are the first three variables that change that forecast. Or when we have a virtual assistant or a report, if there's a certain statistics, it should really provide which resources provided that information. So these are very important also to increase trust and also to really explain the outcome and the sources of the outcome. And of course, we must train field teams, use open documentation, and redesign workflows, also coming to the people and processes part. And very importantly, especially for field work, technology must be co-developed with the inputs from the local populations to really understand their collective, to really include the collective intelligence, to really understand what biases we should prevent. And it should be in a not in the beginning, not in the discovery or proof of concept phase, but also it should be continuously, evaluated with the local populations. So responsible AI is the governance, and it's not the engineering that we should really keep in mind. And also, like some lessons learned from practice, actually, meaning that it is not only the AI models, like all these like fancy like LLMs, but most of the time, the most important part is the data readiness of the organizations before starting just an AI or machine learning model. So from heresy to utility, most projects fail because they are not ready in terms of their data. And then the data has, like I will show later, most of the time are like unstructured, missing data, in not in good format to be used in machine learning. So we should make sure step by step to make the data, prepare, organize, clean the data so that it is the best input for the intended AI use. And also process re-engineering is the key. For example, if the process is inefficient, we cannot hope that AI will solve it. So maybe these two parts, because like the problem that most of the the processes has structural problems. So we should really also first understand what is the root cause of the problem, like maybe going back to first principles as well, so that it is not only using AI. Okay, maybe it's a process problem. For example, in one of the projects I worked, first of all, there was a warehousing automation and also forecasting algorithm that we want to include. And then, of course, there are a lot of medical needs data coming from different continents, a lot of tens of countries. But then all the data, all the data was manually collected. But then if the data was manually collected and also only manually evaluated, after we developed for example, a forecasting algorithm, the pharmacists or the doctors said that I don't trust it because I know that the data is not good. So that's one thing. Like we should really say from the upstream to downstream, the data should be well organized. And also in terms of process re-engineering, for example, again, if we are doing a warehousing or inventory management, like a stock management or forecasting, we should make sure also the processes within the supply chain is good, so that the overstock is eliminated. Because we know in healthcare, like in humanitarian medical stock, most of the time, because the forecasts are not efficient, there can be more than 40% overstock. So the tendency is to order more, so that we can really just minimize the risks. But also, like when we look at the processes, we should really see, for example, like when the really at the very downstream, how the doctor or the nurse collects the information, and how it is transferred into digitalized information, or like when the need when the need is transformed, who transforms it, who defines, who evaluates or confirms the medical patient inflows, and how this is transferred at the upstream. So this is all like supply chain process. So we need to really make sure that we really optimize these processes and really understand the problems within it, in a good way. Sometimes it can be the location of the inventories. Sometimes it can be the work process definitions, which are like not good. So these are really the key. And when you, for example,
Daria, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say that it looks like we're going to go a little bit over the stipulated time. So I hope that's okay for everyone to stay. But maybe just keep in mind, Daria, that there's also some people that have questions at the end. So perhaps, you know, like if you could try to wrap it up a little bit so that yeah, people aren't stuck here for too long. But thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, so I will go further. So these are the data readiness levels. So we need to make sure that we go from accessible to really like AI ready data. And also, like as we said, like one of my previous colleagues made this actually. This is like a process foundation, and data foundation is the really the first things that we need to cover before AI adoption. Because otherwise AI adoption will fail for sure. And recommendation for the ecosystem is like going from, for NGOs, going from shadow AI to formal governance, and also for donors shifting from pilots to long-term infrastructures, and for tech developers, like more building offline compatible low resource setting models. And policy actors also to ensure global South participation is inside the decision making. So, like as a maybe a final word, the future is not AI replacing humanitarian actors, but it is the accountable system strengthening the human judgment in crisis. So, like I can maybe check the questions.
Yeah, I can read them to you. No worries. Thank you so much, Daria, first of all. And if other people have more questions as well, feel free to put them in the chat and raise your hand as well. We'll be super happy to kind of engage more in the discussion. So, but first question, Hussein is asking, why do we need AI in charge of action decisions? So referencing accountability. Why don't we think about AI as only the supporting tool? If we don't use it as such, then would still be an accountability problem. Not sure if I understood your positioning for the issue.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, actually, the decision-making AI is not yet there. So also like the models are not yet there. But the inputs, as you said, like as a tool, as a supporting tool, AI is also very important because like what do we use? For example, forecasting. It is being used, or all these reports that are coming from all these LLM models. So these are also even as a supporting tool, like there will be like still an accountability issue because we don't know what data these LLMs are using, whether we are involving all kinds of all different contexts, so that all different contexts, all different trends are being included. For example, if it is a machine learning algorithm, if the data is if the data is missing, if the seasonality is there, so even it is being used as a supporting tool, we need to be accountable from the beginning, if I understand correctly. But this decision-making part is, of course, like we are not that there, and even AI, I don't know if it will make it, but with these AI agents, it is going in this way. So the trend is that like with AI agents, there will be an AI that will make the decision for you by using all this data, and even it is even more plausible, I would say. Yeah.
So Hussein has a follow-up question, which is then all should move to in-house developments. Is it feasible for the humanitarian sector?
Yeah, in-house, this doesn't mean in-house, but there are also open source models as well. But also you can use LLMs in a different ways. For example, in Ganet, this application that we developed, what was good was there was a retrieval augmented development, like the generation model. Actually, it wasn't using the LLM for the LLM for making the answering the question. It was using a basic algorithm that can match the source with the question, but using the LLM to really creating the answer. But still there are hallucination issues, of course. But in-house development is good, but it needs in-house like capacity, of course, in-house, which also can be like very difficult. But I would say we should really also pressurize the technology leaders or technology people, like really to make sure the like the data is open, also like people like so that users can see what data is being used. Also, really to put in place the all these safeguarding regulations. There are a lot of regulations also like EU AI policy from US, but still we really need to make sure that what we use, we know what is happening inside and what data is there. But also there are a lot of open source models that in-house developers can really work and understand the machine inside. I hope maybe we can, I don't know whether it's answered your question.
Well, we'll see if he has another follow. Oh, he put a thumbs up, so all good. Next question is coming from Xavier. He's saying, I didn't see here some mention thinking on balancing AI use and ethics in terms of ecological impact, so energy, water, data workers, etc. Do you have some guidance on this, or should we assume that whatever the situation, AI is so hyped that we should use it?
Yeah, actually you are right. Actually, that's like, even now I am working in the ecological movement in Turkey. Like, one of the main also risks of AI is its ecological impact, because all these data centers that use all this like energy, water, and also the rights of data workers is not going very well, because even one big like the data center can use the water of of a city, and we can see the implications in US, in Mexico, and it will be more we will see more cases there. So really, like you are very right. So even we need to make sure, like, okay, AI is cool, it's the hype, we should use it. Should I use it? Like, is it really necessary? I can do it maybe with another coding, or I can do it in a better way. All these we can see, for example, because most of the individual users are mostly using it for rewriting reports, or asking questions, or maybe doing some visual work, video. Maybe they are not really necessary. Also, it's changing our habits. We are making us technologically dependent, actually. So this ecological impact is very important. And also, there are a lot of resistance from groups in Europe, in US, even in Europe. There's a twin transition. Like, there are actually some critical actions regarding this. And also, like, there are some actually some research done actually in the conferences. Maybe I can say, I don't know now, I don't remember the exact name of the paper, but yeah, you can really see the energy and water use, and of course, like, the rights of the data workers, because now like the data workers are like being hired very low wages, also in global south. So these are all very disadvantages of it. So we should really understand, is it necessary to use or not, with all these conditions. Also, it is the ethical decision in that case. So you are very right in this.
Thanks, Daria. Jean is asking, given that in a crisis, one would turn to what's already familiar, shouldn't the imperative also be integrating the solution into the platforms and workflows people already use daily? If so, is the sector prioritizing that, or rather setting us up for tool fatigue?
Yeah. So what I understand, if it's correct, so if like if there's a crisis, we should integrate the solution of what people already use, like so what they are accustomed to this. Yeah, actually, like sometimes also like in the field, what we see, some tools or processes are really needs to be optimized as well. So like all these platforms, people are accustomed, or the workflows, like there's a chance, for example, when there is an SAP solution or all these ERP solutions, there is always a chance to re-engineer the processes, because people are really accustomed to them, and then like we don't see the inefficiencies, the bottlenecks within it. So even like it can be an AI, or it can be another improvement. So we should also really dig into whether this process, this workflow really just is efficient, and whether this AI will make it will work in these cases. Maybe even like coming to the previous questions, if maybe re-engineering these workflows maybe will solve the problem as well. So yeah, as we said, the process analysis, the data analysis is the priority. So even like in the process analysis, maybe you will see what is needed, what is the what can be the solution, and AI is just if AI is a tool or another tool that can solve it. So really this the technological dependency that we need to understand. And the sector is prioritizing. Yeah, it is a tool fatigue, I would say. Yeah, you are right. It's a tool fatigue. We are very into this hype, and then we should use LLMs. Let's use LLMs. It's hype, but also they are very helpful. I would say all these LLMs being used, making these virtual assistant chatbots. But then you really identify what is needed. But for individual users, which are not inside this 8% structured cases, which doesn't look into the processes, then we can maybe really criticize whether it's a tool fatigue or not.
Yeah, maybe I'll also just add to that point that from our experience at Relief Application, I feel like the humanitarian sector is also not very good at sharing tools amongst each other. And so I also feel like the kind of tool fatigue comes from each organization wanting to build their own thing, because they feel like maybe their workflows are so different and so special and so on. So in that sense, I also feel like sometimes there needs to be a little bit more flexibility from the organization to be more willing to share the tools and maybe adapt their processes a little bit so that it would fit the already existing tool, right? And I also feel like the recent humanitarian funding cuts are maybe kind of forcing us to accept that and to go towards that approach of being more sharing and collaborative in that sense. So maybe this will be a good outcome actually from the humanitarian funding cuts, even though I agree that there's not a lot of good coming from that, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because for example, in the the HMPW, when we introduced Ganit, we discovered there were a lot of similar pilots coming out, and then we said why we don't cooperate and collaborate, because every organization has their own capacities. So if there's a limited resource, if there is also if there's an enrichment in the experience and data as humanitarian space, we should collaborate for sure. It's not a a competition in that case. It's collective goods.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyone else wants to have a one final question, maybe? Now is the time. Otherwise, I guess thank you so much, Daria, for a super insightful presentation. I hope you all found it also interesting, insightful, that you learned a little bit. If you would like maybe a little bit more support in terms of understanding your data readiness, or kind of whether or not AI is right for you, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us or with Daria. And yeah, we'll be super happy to assist, discuss, and help you understand whether AI is something that could be good for you, or maybe if you just explain your problem, we can point you in the direction of someone who is already doing something similar, and that it could be worth reaching out to. Otherwise, we'll send you also the presentation by your email. You should receive it. So yes, that's it from us, and thank you for staying on, and sorry we went a little bit over time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Daria. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.